Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Leanne and along with my partner Adam we have been running Two Bears Vintage, which is an online store focusing on everything weird, wonderful, whimsical, vintage homewares and home decor. So it's been a little while since my last video, mostly because I've been working away and then I've been a little bit poorly, but we have managed to get out and do a little bit of shopping. So I've got a thrift haul for you today, and I think it might be my best haul ever, but with one caveat, I have made quite a big error. So I will talk about that as well. Looking at the pile of things I've got to show you, the thing that I've made an error on is quite near the back of the pile, so you'll have to stay tuned for that, but I will tell you when I get to it. We may also have a little bit of a cameo from Adam. He's agreed to be in the video later on, and he's going to show you some of the things that he's picked for the shop over the last few weeks as well. So if you aren't familiar with Two Bears Vintage, we launched our Etsy shop back in April, so we've been going for almost 2 months now. We are based in the UK and we're really lucky on the most part. I mean, the UK gets a bit of a bad rap for its food and its weather, but what we do really well is vintage and antiques. And I'm even luckier because I'm based near the Cotswolds. So all of the stuff that I have to show you today is from sort of 3 main areas, and that's Newbury, where Adam lives, Cheltenham, which is a very lovely area to go thrifting, and then around my sort of immediate area where I live as well. So I think in my last video I talked about that brilliant art haul that I picked up in Gloucester, and actually I'm going to start this video with more art. Sorry about that. Oh, you're welcome for that, depending on what you're into. I've got 2 pieces to show you right now. So the first is from that same shop in Gloucester, and that is this really beautiful floral still life. It has been there for a couple of weeks, and I didn't pick it up, but the more I looked at it, the more I loved it, and that is because of the sort of contrast between the pink sort of joyful flowers and then that really sort of moody, smoky background. And I just thought the play on colour is really pretty, and I think it can go with a whole lot of different sort of decor styles. So if you're leaning into that dark and moody aesthetic, this would be great for that. But also if you're in a kind of light bright area, I think this adds a really nice contrast, especially with the dark frame and that sort of gold inset as well. It is, I believe, an oil on canvas. You've got all the texture from the palette knife, especially on the vase there and some of the flowers, and it is signed by H. Feldman, I think, H. Feldman. I haven't actually googled this artist yet, but I would imagine, as I only bought it for £5, it's a hobby artist. So I will do a bit more research and add it to the listing when it goes up on Etsy. And the second piece of art I have to show you really appealed to my little gardener heart. I don't think I've mentioned before, but I'm quite a keen gardener. I used to have an allotment. I now have a little mini vegetable garden in my own backyard. So saw this in a local charity shop yesterday and I had to have it. It is an original watercolour of watering cans through the ages, and I think it's adorable. I love the dark blue matting. I think it just makes it feel a little bit more premium and expensive, but it's just got all these watering cans through the ages, starting with 1820. Oh no, we've got 1780 down the bottom there, 1920s. So yeah, I just think that's really cool. It would be a lovely gift for a gardener, an allotmenteer. It would be a lovely piece to hang sort of in a conservatory or somewhere just looking out onto a garden. So yeah, another stunning little watercolour there. So I mentioned that we started the shop about 2 months ago, and even in that short time I've been on a massive learning curve, sort of learning about what things sell, what people are looking for, what I like to buy. And I seem to have made a bit of a move from just really pretty decorative objects to things with more of a purpose, and I have seen that seems to be the sort of things that sell better, for me at least anyway. So a lot of these things in this haul today have a sort of dual purpose. They look great and they're also practical too. So the first one I want to show you is this butter dish or cheese dish. This was bought in a charity shop in Newbury for I think about £5, something like that. I really like it because, well, firstly, I think butter dishes are having a bit of a comeback. I've seen lots around, kind of on Vinted and all these sort of thrift hauls that I watch on YouTube as well. And I just really liked, firstly, how, like, I hate to gender objects, but this one's a really sort of masculine kind of look. And normally kind of kitchenware can sort of edge towards the pretty, the cutesy, the more feminine. So I really like this. It's handmade, it's really solid ceramic, and it's decorated on the dome, oh, sorry about that, the dome and the plate in this kind of black matte colour with the sort of grey and then white gloss. And if you can pop the lid on and line it up really nicely as well. So this, I think, is a great piece just because it's very different to sort of butter and cheese dishes I've seen before, because of the masculine edge, and because also it is quite contemporary too. So this would work really well in kind of those sort of modern, more minimalist kitchens, your black, white and grey sort of kitchens, but it can also lend itself really nicely to a more rustic or traditional interior as well. So yeah, I thought this was just a really nice piece, really useful, really attractive and really solidly built. So the other thing that I find sells really, really well for us are trinket dishes. They're small, impulse ready buys. They're really useful. You can use them at your front door for your keys, on your bedside table for your jewellery, in your bathroom or your kitchen for your rings when you're cooking or washing your hands. You can use them for loads of different things. So I picked up a handful of trinket dishes this week as well. So the first I wanted to show you was this pair of wooden dishes. I'm not entirely sure on what wood it's made out of, and there's a sticker on the back that is half peeled off, so I can't even tell from that, unfortunately. But I just really love they're quite lightweight. I like that they're a pair as well, so really good on the bedside tables. And I just like the sort of scalloped flower shape of those. The next one I bought, I nearly passed by because the sticker on it said Laura Ashley, but I then realised it's actually vintage Laura Ashley. So I picked it up. This is Vintage Chintz by Laura Ashley, and it is from, it has got Roman numerals on the back, 1986. That's not me reading the Roman numerals. I used ChatGPT earlier to tell me what year it was from. Green transferware. I really like green transferware. I think it's a lot more unusual than your regular blue transferware that you find, and I think it just adds sort of prettiness and more country cottage feel to things. And as it's Laura Ashley, of course, it's floral and country as well. This was originally a soap dish, I think. It's got the ridges on the bottom there. So you could use this as a soap dish as intended, or absolutely as a ring dish or a trinket dish as well. And then the last trinket dish I bought is this lovely little shell, which is made out of pink frosted glass. I just really like the shell shape. I thought it'd be great for bathrooms as well as bedrooms or any other space. It's got the ridges in there, so it's been moulded. And it's also got little feet on there. So I'm assuming this is also a soap dish to kind of keep it out of the wet, but again, you can use it for anything really. So that was lovely. And then that got me onto a bit of a pink glass haul. These were all from the same shop. So I'm wondering if a sort of pink glass collector was giving up some of their collection. So the next thing I picked up was this rose bowl. Normally I pass rose bowls by as well because you find tons of them in charity shops and they're just sort of clear glass or crystal with the silver top, and you know, they're just really easy to find normally. But I really like this one because of the pink streaking. I just thought that was really different. I'm a sucker for anything pink, so I picked it up anyway, and it's got this sort of gold brass coloured like grate at the top as well to keep the stems separate. The glass itself is in a sort of swirly shape as well, which goes along with the pink sort of glass as well. So yeah, another really lovely pink piece. And then the last pink piece, this isn't the big error, but I made a smaller error on this one, but I think it's okay. It's this lovely glass dish. It's very kind of art deco-y style, just from the shape of it. It's just that kind of lovely sort of angled dish, and then the bottom is square. So I just thought it was a really interesting shape. Where I made the error was I thought that this was solid pink glass when actually it's not. I found when I got home there's some sort of chipping to the colour there. So what I think's happened is this is actually clear and white swirl glass that has been later painted. But still, I think it's a really lovely vintage piece, and if you're a pink lover or a glass lover like me, this will look lovely in your home, either as a fruit bowl or a coffee table bowl or a catch-all by your front door. So yeah, a little bit of damage, but it's a vintage piece, so there's always going to be damage, or at least a little bit of wear on vintage pieces, and I know a lot of people don't mind that, so it will be going on the shop. If it doesn't sell after a sort of a period of time, I'll probably keep it for myself just because I think it's really pretty. I'll just have to find room somewhere. And continuing on the glass theme, I've got one more piece of glass to show you, and this one actually came from my mum. She was at a fete for a sort of fundraiser for my nan's retirement home, and they had a bric-a-brac store, and she saw this and she said, "Do you want it? Will it be great for the shop?" And I said, "Absolutely yes." And that is this lovely glass swan. Isn't she gorgeous? She's handmade. But they have, I did at first think it was Murano, but they have sanded the Pontil mark, so I don't think it is, and there's no signature, unfortunately. But still a really lovely piece. It's blue, white and burgundy confetti glass, and it's hand blown, and then the neck is obviously twisted into this lovely swan shape. And let me see if I can catch the light. There you go. Inside, it's got this like lovely iridescent kind of texture as well. So just a really interesting piece, and again it sort of fits in with that useful but beautiful category. It works really well as a trinket dish or a bowl for anything really, but also you could pop that on your bookshelf, on your mantelpiece, on your coffee table, and it would just look stunning on its own. Yeah, so that is my last piece of glass. As you know, I am a massive glass fiend and a pottery fiend, and just generally a vintage fiend actually, but this is one of my favourite pieces, so thank you Mum for finding this one for me. And while I'm on a bird theme, I'll show you these that I picked up. I just thought they were so cute. Look at them, they're like little kissing geese, and they're hooks. If I turn them around like that, they're wall hooks. They've got the, ooh, let me turn that around a bit. They've got the hanging mechanisms on the back, so you can just pop your nails in the wall and hook on. But I just think they're really cute and whimsical. They're very cottagey, blue and white as well, never goes out of style, and just a really lovely thing to hang your keys on or your tea towels. I wouldn't hang anything heavier than a tea towel on it, just because of the size of them, and I don't really know I don't really know how these will hold up to something heavier. But I think they're intended as kind of tea towel hooks for a sort of country style kitchen. That's how I would use them anyway. But yeah, just look at their little faces, just totally adorable. So as you know, I cannot resist a good piece of pottery, and I found lots of pieces of amazing pottery this week, so I'm in my element, and hopefully you will be too. The first piece I'll show you is one I picked up yesterday, and that is this huge ginger jar. This was really, really dusty, really dirty, and kind of just left on a table in a charity shop. But I love the dark background and the fruit. It's got plums, peaches, grapes. I just think it's lovely. Let me just take that off because it's rattling a little bit. With the lid as well, vintage ginger jars really quite often come without the lids now. But actually without the lid, you can see you don't have to use it as a storage pot. You could use it as a vase on its own. The top is all nicely finished. It's not rough like a lot of things are that have lids and have lost them. So you could use it with or without. Otherwise, just a nice kind of decorative piece, or you could pop things in there. Sadly, I don't think, I mean, not quite big enough for a cookie jar, unfortunately. It's so close though. But yeah, lots of other things you could use this for, and it's gorgeous. It just fits in that lovely dark and moody interiors sort of look again, or into just something a little bit more traditional, perhaps even kind of Victorian possibly, just with all the different fruits and things on it. So also while shopping yesterday, I picked up this vase, and it's just summer in a piece, I think. It plays really nicely into that Ralph Lauren summer trend that is all blue and white, everything. It's a floral motif. It's huge. Look at it next to my head, massive. And I love the shape of it. Sort of that just lovely traditional shape. And again, blue and white just never goes out of style, does it? It is made in China, written on the bottom there. Just a lovely statement piece for in the middle of your dining table with really nice with sunflowers in, actually. Just, you know, big yellow blooms sticking out of the top, or just on its own on a shelf or a mantelpiece. So I went to the opticians this week, and while I was waiting for my appointment, I nipped into the charity shop next door and I picked this little baby up. It's a little bit different for me, but it just really caught my eye, and it's a handmade bud vase. I just really like the really clear sort of handmadeedness of it, I suppose. I think it's slab built. Look at me, pretend I know anything about pottery. It's got this sort of lovely kind of dark beigey background, and then these really like simple, almost kind of naive flowers sticking out of it. I really love the texture of it. The stem is raised as well, and I just think that adds a little bit of interest. If it was just plain brown, it would just be another, just, you know, bog standard piece of pottery, but the flowers, the little pop of sort of mustard yellow there really makes it. So yeah, it's very woodlandy and organic, which is very, very two bears if I'm honest with you. So yeah, that will be going in the shop as well. Now in the shop I picked up the ginger jar, a little bit of a story time. The ginger jar was £3 and the shop said that the minimum card spend was £5. So, oh no, I had to go back and find something else to buy. So it took a little while, because I will be honest, most of the stuff in the shop was sort of modern tat. But after a bit of rooting around, I found this. And again, it's just summer in ceramics, isn't it? This lovely sort of white with the blue and yellow detail. I think this will be lovely as a little bud vase, or I was thinking, it is quite big, but imagine putting some like scented oils in there and some bamboo sticks and using it as an oil diffuser, just because it's got that narrow top there. So I thought that would be kind of a really nice use for it as well. And now, I mentioned at the start of this video that this is probably my best thrift haul ever, but I did make a bit of an error, and that is with this piece. And for those who don't know pottery, you're like, why is that an error? It's stunning. Look at the mossy green background and the embossed flowers. It's really moody, it's really natural looking. And for those who do know pottery, you're going, why is that an error? That's Victorian majolica, which is what I said when I saw it. And I got really excited because it is, it's antique, it's Victorian, it's majolica, which is highly collectible. But what I have learned, and this is the error I made, is I needed to take a bit of a closer look. There was a set of 3 of these jugs on the shelf. I looked at 2 and they were damaged. And I looked at this one and I thought, oh, this one isn't, I'll take it home. Got it home and then realised there's a big chip there. There's a big chip there. And inside, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. No, you can't. There's a massive crack from here that goes all the way down there. It doesn't go all the way through, but it is quite significant on the inside. And I've got to say, I'm gutted. So why did I buy this? Well, firstly, I didn't see the damage in the shop. And secondly, I saw, oh, that's majolica. Google lensed it, and these are worth sort of between £200 and £400. So I just, you know, rose tinted glasses, pound signs in my eyes, picked it up and ran with it. This cost me £20. Now, after assessing the damage, I've Google lensed it again, and it's probably worth about 30, which isn't a big enough margin for me to sell it, unfortunately. But the good thing is I really love it. It appeals to my little witchy goblin heart, so it might find a little space on my altar in my lounge. So yeah, I am gutted, honestly. But actually this was a £20 lesson that I'm not going to make again. So if you are a reseller and you are new to this, All the seasoned resellers are going to be going, well, of course. New resellers, check things in the daylight rather than just in the shadowy depths of the charity shop before you buy. That is my word of advice. So I didn't mean to do this, but I've accidentally left my favourite 3 things till last. So in my opinion, these are the best and most exciting pieces. Although this first one you might not be terribly excited about, but I've been looking for something like this for quite some time, and that is just something that's like quirky, decorative, that has no other kind of rhyme or reason to it other than being kind of cool. My mantra for when I'm out shopping is I want people to look at the stuff and go, oh, that's really cool, where did you get that? That's my filter. And for me, this dice does it. This is burl wood, which already makes it very, very cool. It's a giant dice too. It's not just like a regular plain dice. It's got the dots in there, I think, are sort of made with like drilled in dowels. So they're solid with themselves. This is solid, it's heavy, and it's got some age to it. There are sort of cracks and scratches and dings all over it, which tells me this has been loved for many, many years. And I can just see this on like a study bookshelf. Again, it's like a sort of masculine piece, I think. It would look cool in a studio or a study. Great present for your dad. It's Father's Day coming up. You know, the man that's got everything, buy him something vintage and decorative, why not? But you could also still use it as a dice, I think. I've given it a polish, so I've put some rub and buff on it, and after I did that, that burl wood just really glowed. Let me just pop that there for you so you can have a look. There you go. I'll do some close-ups as well on the other camera so you can see it properly. Yeah, I don't know, it's simple, but I love it. I can just already see this on a bookshelf with a load of leather-bound books and just really cool stuff. So if you've got that already in your home, buy this, please, and then send me a photo. Thanks. My second favourite piece is this. And I think actually this was in Cheltenham. I went for lunch with my friend Ben, and then I dragged him around some charity shops, and he picked a few things up, including the majolica, actually. So even without knowing what it was, he knew it was cool. And he picked this up as well and said, well, this is really different. And it is. It's solid brass. It's made in India. And it's, I mean, ChatGPT calls it a ewer. I'm not entirely sure what makes it a ewer, probably the shape of the spout and the body there. I love the kind of decoration on the handle. Like, it's got these little bits that poke out and that little sort of bit swirl at the bottom. But I also really, really love the decoration. So it has been enamelled with kind of a gloss black, and then we've got flowers and birds and leaves all over it in these really bright colours, and I just love the contrast between the black and the bright orange, yellow, pink, white. It's got some age to it. It has been loved. There's, as you can see, there's sort of dings all over it where some of the black enamel has worn off, and there's a really big bit just there under that leaf. But again, I didn't notice that until I got it home. But actually, I don't think that's a huge problem. I think it just adds to the vintage nature of it. Yeah, it's a lovely piece. Just a nice little parroty jug there. And then my favourite piece, and it goes along the same lines as just finding cool stuff like the dice, is, I'm going to try and pick it up because it's got some parts that are attached. That's this. And it is a vintage inkwell. I'm not entirely sure on the age, but I think it's probably around 1960s, possibly a little bit older, just from the sort of blocky shape of it. And it's this like really solid wood base, and then again, really thick, solid glass inkwells. And it's got this sort of, sorry if that was really loud, it's got this kind of diamond texture on the bottom. And then the inkwells and the little bit there where you, I would assume, put your pen. Obviously we don't really use quill and inks now. They didn't in the 60s either, but they did use ink pens. So I wouldn't necessarily use it for an ink well now, unless actually the lady that I bought this from in the charity shop said that she does calligraphy and this would be perfect for her. So if you know a calligrapher, great gift for them. But again, I just think it would look lovely on a desk. You know, that sort of kind of old wood desk with your writing stuff and scrolls of paper. I think it would just look fabulous. You can pop your paper clips in there. You can pop, I don't know what else you pop in there, drawing pins, anything really that's small enough to fit in the holes, I guess. But yeah, just really cool. And again, another really good gift for your dad or sort of a loved one with a birthday coming up. So that is all of the stuff that I have chosen to talk about. Adam's got a few things, so I'm going to go and grab him, and I'll see you back here in a second. Right, I've grabbed him. He's got 3 things to show. Yes?
Yes,
cool.
That's right.
All right.
So first piece is this lovely painting we picked up in Camden. It is Notre Dame, Paris, and as you can see, it's super detailed. Oil on canvas. I don't know if you can see all the brush strokes there and all of the paint embellishments and what have you, but it's, yeah, really nice, really detailed. Could kind of fit into any sort of decor. Lovely frame as well, the nice gold inlay and the kind of the woody outside material. But yeah, super lovely piece, and you know, captures the street really well. You've got Notre Dame in the background, and yeah, it's just that sort of like nice, not quite still life, but you know, people going about their day at some kind of market. I don't know the streets of Paris, but yeah, I think it's super cool and detailed. That's the first one. Next piece is this really cool reclaimed wood corkscrew. As you can see, it's sort of this vine wood piece, and you know, it has all of the cracks and the bobbles and the creases in there from the wood material that comes through super nicely. It's got the rivet at the top where it holds in the corkscrew, and it has a really nice weight to it. Again, very cool vintage piece. If you just want something a bit cooler than a regular corkscrew, again, would look really cool, you know, sticking out of the top of a miscellaneous jar that holds, you know, drinks, items or pieces that go on a bar. Again, very cool piece, and yeah, cool item, quite original.
I think it's quite witchy as well, and kind of goblin-y.
Quite witchy, whimsical. Again, lots of really cool like curves to it, not just a straight piece as you might regularly find in a shop. And yeah, I thought that was a nice little find. It caught my eye when we went in the store. And then the last piece is this needlepoint of some poppies. Again, needlepoints are always quite popular, so I thought I'd pick this one up. Really nice colours there. You know, all of the flowers are shaded differently as the light is hitting it, so that's like really cool and detailed. It's got this sort of blue background shadow effect that's coming off the leaves. Again, that's quite nice, and it's all just very framed nicely in this sort of beige creamy background. And yeah, you can see all like the different leaves have a slightly different hue to it. Super detailed. Again, would, you know, go with any kind of cottage core decor. But yeah, quite popular needlepoints. I sort of thought I'd pick this one up as well.
And we've sold one almost exactly the same as this last weekend. So it was a longer version, and it had a black background, but it was still matted in the green, and when it was in a sort of reddy tinged wood frame, and that went all the way to Texas, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've managed to kind of replace it actually. So if you missed out on that one, don't sleep on this one. So that's about it from us today. Massive haul. We've got a lot of work to do now to get it up on Etsy by the time this video goes out. So we will head off and do that now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing if you aren't already, or if you don't want to do that just yet, drop us a cheeky thumbs up. That tells YouTube that this video is worth watching and shares it with more people and helps the channel grow. And of course, if you are interested in any of these items, the link to our Etsy shop is on our profile, or you could just look up Two Bears VTG, the same as this channel title. So thanks for coming into the video.
No problem at all.
You haven't met Adam yet, so I thought I'd drag him along and do this one. You'll pop up every now and then, won't you? So yeah, thanks very much for hanging out with us, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.